Morning, y'all. I wanted to drop a quick video on why I left QC. It's been a long time coming. I've been putting it off, trying to figure out, you know, if I should do it, all of that. So um, here it is. I wrote a little list about some of the differences between the two companies. I've been at Long Haul now for almost a year. And, I just want to let you guys know why I made the decision to make the swap. The first is pay, the percentage difference. I get paid 87% here at Long Haul, where QC I only got paid 67%. And I get more money at Long Haul versus QC. QC got their hand in everything. The fuel, line haul, anything that has anything to do with money, they get a cut of it. I got my own fuel card when I was at QC, and right off the bat, I was saving $50 plus with my own fuel card versus using their card. At the pump, I'll get 100, gallons or whatever, and they'll pay you like $5 or $10 back off that. Whereas I can go to the same, fuel stop the day after, price still the same, and clear $50. Same pump, same gas station, all of that. So, it tells you, just how much they were taking, at the pump. Detention pay. I was at a customer before and, ended up staying there for about 3 days, and it ran the detention pay up to almost, what the load paid to get to the customer. And at the end of the day, they took almost half, of the detention pay. Whereas if I get detention pay at Long Haul, I get 100% of that. They don't get a cut of that. So, like I said, just that alone, with QC having their hand in every single thing, I just, I got tired of that. Two, you can carry a hazmat load and, it pay less than what a regular pan, or regular load paid. So I was like, how can you risk your life, carrying a hazmat load, and it's not even worth it? They don't even pay more, it's supposed to, or other companies I know do, but not at QC. But, whatever. I took some because there was a load that was available at the time, and, that's the only way I figured I'll be moving and possibly make some money. Another thing with the pay, you can take home time with, QC and, go straight in the hole, and you'll fight to get out of the hole. Like it'll take you 2 weeks, minimum to get out of the hole. Whereas Long Haul, you're not in the hole. I've only been in the hole with Long Haul since I've started here 3 times. And that's because I put my truck in the shop and I took 2 weeks off. But it only took one load to get, back, in the clear. So, that tells you something. And QC, used to fight with loads. There was a lot of favoritism there. There was a lot of, things that were going on that I felt like, wasn't right. I can have hours ready to go, and, a driver could come in after me because, of course there it was first in, first out. Well, it really wasn't. I can be sitting at a yard waiting for a load, and a driver will come in after me and already have a load before he even makes it back, and I'm sitting there waiting on the load, and I don't get a load for that day. And that driver, because he come in later and got a load, he can't go pick that load up on time. But if they had gave it to me, I would have been able to pick that load up on time and deliver it on time. But whatever. Like I said, there was a lot of favoritism there. You know, um, I would get a good paycheck. I would get a decent paycheck, and then I would go without a paycheck. And I usually was staying out a month, 2 months. I've even stayed out 3 months at a time, you know, at sometimes, trying to get ahead. And it's like, no matter what, I couldn't get ahead. You know, you get on a good account or a dedicated account that they have, and then all of a sudden, they see how much money you're making on it. Then something bullcrap come up. Oh, we lost that account, or, we need you to do something else. They watched how much you made, closely, and they don't do that, to the point where at long haul, they don't do it to the point where, they telling you, oh, you can't make that amount of money. They want you to make more money at long haul, and the sky's the limit at long haul. I love it here. And, I get to run where I want to run. Whereas at QC, you just got to fight and try to find the load. They want you to run with the terminal that they put you at. But I found out that even if I was assigned to a certain terminal, I get better runs running for another terminal. And a lot of terminals didn't like that. QC, changed the contract for the owner ops. Then they forced us to put cameras in our trucks. And, when they did that, man, a lot of things changed. A car can cut you off. They'll call you and may like you're in the wrong when a car cut you off. And I was, I used to tell them, if you go back and watch the video, instead of calling me first, then you will see they cut me off. I didn't have time to hit brakes like the camera or you wanted me to. Of course, I hit my brakes or whatnot. I kept videos and showed them. It's like, yeah, I see, what you're saying, and yeah, I understand, but you still called me about it instead of doing your research first. Once they put the cameras in the truck, man, a lot of things went down, hill. And I didn't like the camera in my truck. I had my own camera that, 3 little cameras on my own in the dash. And like, cameras are fine. I think they're very, useful, especially in an accident or something like that, so I'm for it. It's just, don't call me every day, which someone was starting to do, about stuff that was out of my control. I can't control a vehicle coming around and cut me off because, I'm in the left lane trying to pass somebody, but because I'm getting so many, feet behind the vehicle, the camera's beeping. So it sends an alert to them. I'm like, I can't stay back so far, and try to pass, the driver that I'm trying to pass. And as cars coming, and jumping in front of me, I'm backing off of them, the person that I'm trying to pass further and further because the vehicles are passing me and jumping in front of me. And the camera's constantly beeping and turning red and recording everything. So, they call you about that. I'm like, how am I supposed to get down the road if I'm, going slower and slower, trying to prevent from passing or hitting another vehicle? It was just crazy. It was just a whole bunch of bull crap, behind the camera thing. So, like I said, this video is about why I left. And, I wouldn't recommend the company to nobody, if they really trying to make some money. If they just want to drive and, they happen to get an account that they like running or was near or by their house, then you're good. There have been many times I wanted to go home and couldn't go home because they were like, oh, we got this load that, it paid good. And, we need your help. I take the run and go, but then it's like, you really can't go home. There's been times where I've deadheaded 800 miles, to go home because I refused to keep running because they wanted to send me somewhere else, but, at the end of the day, That's some things, home time was a big thing for me. I can go home anytime I want to. Long haul have loads to go right by my house, so I'm good there. Better home time, better percentage, better pay in loads. I don't have to run as hard, as I did at QC. QC, man, you run your balls to the wall, you know, running with them. And it's like you're chasing a dollar, but the more you run, it's like you still ain't making the money. So like I got tired of that. Sometimes you got to run overnight. You got to get up early and deliver it. Forget all that and go into tank washes. That was a big thing. You get to a tank wash, sign it in. Some of the tank washers wouldn't wash your tank the way it need to be. Or they're shut down and your tank won't get washed. So you waiting on a load but can't get a load because the tank wash ain't washed your tank off. So, that was another thing. That was a waste of time, and you finally get loaded. It's hurry up and get there. Well, if, my load would have been where it was supposed to be, I'd have got there on time. If the tank wash had to wash my tank out in enough time, I would have had enough time to get the load where it's just, hurry up and wait, and you get loaded, hurry up and get there. It's like, it's screwed up, man. It was really screwed up. And rider policy, if you was not carrying a hazardous load, or going to customers that didn't mind you having a rider, then that was cool. But majority of the places you went, customers didn't want you to have a rider, didn't want you to have a pet. So I'm like, forget that. There's been many times I wanted to carry a family member with me and couldn't because, I was going to a plant where they didn't allow riders. So, that's another thing. So it is just a few things why I decided to, leave QC. I did make some money there when there were certain dispatchers, dispatching me. I'm not going to sit up here and say I didn't make any money, but it was a hit and miss. And you had to work with certain dispatchers and certain terminals to keep a consistent paycheck. You can make some money there, but you're going to run your butt off. And for me, running the way I ran, there was no way in where I was going to keep that up, and it's just one thing happened to another. And I just got frustrated and I was like, enough is enough.